I am female 24. I am really upset and shocked at how angry my boyfriend 28 male was when I told him I was pregnant.
I need to talk to someone, but I feel like I can't talk about this to anyone in real life because I'm so upset and also embarrassed about his reaction. I'm pregnant. I don't know how it happened because I'm on birth control, but it did. I told my boyfriend at the weekend. I was prepared him not to be overjoyed because it's not a great time or anything we had planned, but I had hoped he would have reacted better than he did. He was angry, called me stupid. Basically, his main reaction was that he can't afford this right now. Didn't ask me how I was, said he was too angry to talk about it. It's true, finances are tight right now because he lost his job earlier in the pandemic, but he has another one now. It is another city, so we are semi-long distance right now, and I had to tell him on the phone. We have barely spoke since and only texts. He did say sorry but said it's hard for him to deal with right now, not even considering that it's worse for me. I have to make a decision soon because I'm 9 weeks and options change. But also, whatever I do, I don't want to do it alone. I don't know what to say to him. Now I know he feels I don't know how to talk about it. I'm so upset at his reaction and how selfish it was. Does anyone have advice who has been in a similar situation? Or any advice how to deal with this? Just give him some time? Oh, by the way, this is a long-term relationship. We have been together for 4 years. I got pregnant about a year into my last relationship. My ex told me that if I didn't get an abortion, he would put a shotgun in his mouth and blow his brains out. I already knew that an abortion was the best option for me, but his reaction made me feel like I had no real choice, and I didn't get any support or comfort from him. The day of, instead of staying with me, he took off to spend the day with his friend more than an hour away. I took the pill, so it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't great, and I was very emotional and vulnerable, and felt very much alone. This level of selfishness, manipulation, and lack of care did not improve, and I stayed much longer than I should have. When someone tells you who they are, please listen. I'm sorry you're going through this, and whatever you decide, I hope you have plenty of love and support to get through it. Good luck and take care of you. Less than 3. Jesus Christ, this sounds truly awful. So sorry you had to go through this. Fuck this man up. Listen to this. And if don't want to go through this alone, an abortion might sadly be the best choice. Also, your boyfriend clearly does not care about the way you feel. I would reconsider the relationship. What she said, op. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. There is not one single excuse your boyfriend could have for being so callous. You must feel vulnerable, but please know that no amount of time is going to change his cold heart. His behavior is telling you that you're already alone, so please start thinking in terms of I and not we. What will be best for you going forward? I also did this alone. I got a similar reaction. If you keep this child, you'll get nothing from me but child support. And I want a paternity test. Didn't so much as text me to see what happened on the day. I've spent the last 3 or 4 years trying to recover emotionally from what that reaction and having to go through that alone did to me, as well as the additional responsibility, guilt that he put on me by making it entirely mine to deal with. Yeah, the sad thing is I used to be like this. Like mine was only a pregnancy scare and I just thought of myself like a selfish asshole. Me and my girlfriend have been able to work it out, and now I know that whatever happens in our future we will be okay. So yeah, like I used to be this dude, and I'm glad I got sense talked into me. So much this. He has shown you who he is, and continues to do so. He cares about himself far more than he will ever care about you. You have become an inconvenience to him because the birth control failed. Take a moment to think. I bet there are lots of other red flags. It is scary to end a long-term relationship. Think about how alone you feel today, and imagine a lifetime of that. If that doesn't make you feel great about your future, change your path. Funny how this is true for mine as well. As soon as he gets stressed, he resorts to lashing out over the smallest stuff or calling me dumb or that I lack common sense, then turns around and says sorry. Honey, please leave if you can. If I could leave my current, I would. Oh goodness, let's unpack this. It takes 2 to make a baby. Not only that, you shouldn't be the only one responsible for birth control. Is he always this shitty? If so, do what you need to do and or can do with this baby. That is your choice and only your choice. Next, dump him. This is not a person you want to continue a relationship with. If, though this is out of character for him, call him up, tell him to grow up. Both of you got yourself into this situation and him being this angry is not helping in any way. Then sit down and have a discussion about what you would like to do. There are many choices here regarding the pregnancy. Seriously though, just for validation, his reaction was terrible and he should know that. Do not let him bully you. He is also at fault here. Don't back down from that fact. I wore a condom with my wife for 30 years when we didn't want a pregnancy. And yes, she was on birth control. Sounds like you're dating a 28-year-old child to me. That being said, right now it's all about you. This is your time and your worry. Don't waste mental energy on him. Focus on you. I wish you all the best. Let me give you a piece of advice I wish I could have told a bunch of people before it was too late. Find out all the answers to the questions you have about your relationship before committing to anything. Is this truly the person you want to be with? If someone asked you if you're happy, would you say yes without a doubt? Is there something that is bothering you regarding your relationship but you're too scared, nervous to discuss it with your partner? Are there red flags that you're sweeping under the rug because you think it will change eventually? I've seen relationships turn 180 once a baby is involved and once the couple is married. Husbands stop trying. Husbands turn into a piece of shit overnight because they are already married and the woman isn't in a situation to leave them. I can go on and on. In your case, your boyfriend overreacted instead of comforting you. I would have a conversation with him telling him you aren't comfortable with that type of communication and won't commit to someone like that. Don't let a pregnancy stop you. Like you said, you have to make a decision soon on what to do with the pregnancy. Go with your gut. Postponing a baby gives you more time to study your boyfriend some more and see if any red flags come up. Good luck. Wow, sorry this is happening to you. It sounds like you will be making this decision on your own, whether you want to or not. I would give him a total of a week to process. Time is a factor. Then do what you need to do, for you. I would be taking a hard look at this relationship going forward. Not making snap decisions is important, but also supporting each other is mandatory for health of a relationship. His first reaction is to get mad, lash out, verbally assault you, and think of himself. After so long dating him, his true colors just came out. BC, this is in all probability your first real hard situation you go through as a couple. I would really re-evaluate this relationship. Do you want that kind of self-pity and anger around your child? Is this how he's gonna react when that child goes through real-world problems? If you decide to work it out, looks like you will have 2 toddlers in the house that you'll be taking care of, without help. Wait a minute. I am not entirely sure I understand this. He got you pregnant, and then called you stupid? For becoming pregnant with his child? How does he think this works? He sounds like a bully and an idiot. If I were you, I wouldn't want to raise a family with him regardless of the current state of the world. Wow, 4 years and he can't grow up at 28 damn years old? Sounds like a loser. My 24F boyfriend, 24 meters, have an emergency fund set aside in case we get pregnant, cause guess what? Sex makes babies, y'all. We have a budget plan that we follow, and in the case of a baby we would be able to rearrange certain sections to provide for a child. We aren't rich, but we plan for the consequences of our actions. Don't try and make this relationship work if you keep the baby. Sounds like a major headache for your future. I'm so sorry. Disappointed. Are you debating keeping it? In a perfect world I would keep it, but I know this isn't an ideal situation. I would obviously take what he wants into consideration with any decision, but he won't talk to me about it. I don't even know for sure he wants me to have an abortion, but I'm guessing by his reaction he does. From one preggy to another, I'm sorry that you're going through this. Your boyfriend should be more supportive and considerate of your feelings, and calling you stupid was such a dickhead move. My inbox is always open if you need to chat. You should not have to go through this alone. He already told you something about himself. An unplanned pregnancy, and with his reaction? Can you imagine what other future events might happen and how he'll react? Do not rely on him with help. I think it would be safe to assume you should walk into this with the mindset he won't be too much of a emotional support. Do you know which option you are leading more towards? Abortion, keeping it, adoption, etc. You have options, with the baby and your relationship with him. They will be overwhelming. They will be tough and require work no matter what, but you can prioritize them and make the right choices for you. My advice would be to decide what you want to do with this baby first, and once you make that decision, then you can decide how to move forward with your BF. At the end of the day, it is your body, so that decision is all on you, even if he helped make the baby. When it comes to your BF, that's something you need to work out between you two. You can be empathetic, let him cool off, and talk to him when he's in a more reasonable and responsive mood. This has been one hell of a year and is making people act differently than normal. You can take a break and see if time apart holds the answers you're looking for in your relationship. You could go to couples counseling, considering how big of a ripple this made in your long-term relationship. A professional might help both of you find common ground in order to work towards a resolution and give you an outside perspective you both might not have considered. You could break up with him and see where life takes you next. There are even more options than what others and I have listed, but the point is you have options. You are not alone, and people want to help you in your time of need. Especially those close to you. Whatever you pick, it's the right option for you at this point in time. It may not be what others want, but your life is not theirs. How could you be stupid? If he felt this seriously about it, he should have A. Had a discussion already about what to do if birth control failed, and B. Used a condom or got a vasectomy. I'm really tired of males acting as though the burden of family planning should naturally fall on the shoulders of the female. Also, he sounds like a selfish prick. You deserve better. This is actually a positive. I would urge you to consider if you want to be tied to this person for a lifetime or have them raise a little person. Personally, I would encourage you to find a friend, book a termination, and break up with him. He has shown you who he really is. Believe him. Take the warning sign and find someone who will walk through the rough stuff with you, not throw you under the bus. Edit. He is the one who dropped the ball here. His refusal to take responsibility has left you in this position. He is the one who has fallen short. He has absolutely no right to call you names and degrade you for his mistake. Please see this giant red flag. Sorry you're in this situation. There is a known genetic component that affects the efficacy of birth control. CYP3A7*1C carriers had serum etinogestrel concentrations that fell below the threshold for consistent ovulatory suppression. Therefore, it does not work for some people. Just wanted to make you aware it's not your fault and to keep an eye in the future. You need to look out for yourself because he's just looking out for himself. Regardless of what he says or does, do you want this baby? That is a decision you need to make for yourself. If you decide to have the child, he will be required to pay child support, regardless of what happens with the two of you. Find a friend or relative to be with you and support you. You shouldn't have to do this on your own. Wow, what an immature loser. A good boyfriend may be upset but would handle this situation maturely and think of you and talk this through together. I was shocked when you said you've been together 4 years. He may normally be a good boyfriend, but he's shown how he acts when things don't go his way. And he's blaming you? WTH, break up girl. You're so young, you can find someone who genuinely loves and cares for you and thinks of you. I had a similar experience. He got mad and threw the test at me. I was scared and alone, so kept making excuses for him. Tried to make it work for about a year, but he became more angry and selfish. I realized I didn't want to raise a child around someone like that, so I left. Life is hard as a single mother, but at least I'm not suffering in an abusive relationship in front of my son. You should ask yourself if you want this baby as a single parent. Like, would you be willing to do this as a single parent? If the answer is no, then you have your answer. Don't rely on him to make a decision. He could say one thing today and change it 2 months from now. If you're cool being a single mom, it's tough, but I did it for a while and we made a good life after a couple years. That's your choice. But don't have a baby thinking you 100% sure have a partner in it. I know that sucks, but it's a reality for many people. I do hope it works out for both of you, and if you do end the baby, I hope he warms up and steps up also. But I urge you to exclude him from your decision.
Not because I think men don't have say, but because of his reaction and the very limited time you have to make a life-changing, for you,
since he can bail out decision. Very selfish of him. You're stupid? How about he's stupid? He got you pregnant. Please listen to the people telling you to run. I lived this situation almost exactly. I was on birth control and it failed. When I told him I was pregnant, he called me a retard. It was out of character for him too, and he acted remorseful, but it didn't last. My ex-boyfriend's behavior escalated and got worse. Eventually he got physical. This is not the behavior you want around your child. You are under stress too, and you did not go and call him stupid for getting you pregnant. This is the time to protect yourself and baby if you decide to go that route. This sort of thing brings out a man's true character. Something similar happened to me once, but never again. Instead of anger, he expressed complete disregard of his role in the situation. I made it clear that from now on I would need nothing else from him, and went through an abortion on my own. He remains at the top of my enemy list, because what kind of man forces a woman he impregnated to face alone all the consequences? A weak, coward man, and you can never trust a man like that. What I don't understand is everyone is hating on the guy. He is allowed to have his feelings and opinions on the whole thing. It isn't like he told her go get an abortion or anything like that. He is allowed to process his emotions if he isn't financially or emotionally prepared for a kid. She even stated it isn't a good time and was not planned. Yes, he said hurtful things, but I'm pretty sure she wasn't jumping up and down with excitement when those two lines showed up either. She isn't even sure herself if she wants to have the baby, which is perfectly fine. At the end of the day, it's her decision what she does. But it doesn't make her, baby daddy, a bad person for realizing the honest truth. They aren't prepared for taking care of a child, either of them.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video. And if you are new, subscribe and click on the bell icon.